Hey guys, we're back on to another podcast.
What's up? Podcast numero dos.
So, Dan, what was the topic I mentioned last time that we were going to do?
Alright, so apparently we're going to talk about what if Luke Skywalker had been raised not by Owen and Beru, but by Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yep. So, first thoughts on that. What do you think? Had they made that choice?
Well, I mean, a couple things. So, my first thought is, like, he would have been more powerful, probably. But the problem with that is that Darth Vader is force sensitive, and the whole reason that they took Luke and Leia and split them up and gave them to families that were not Jedi was to keep them hidden, because I mean the last two Jedi was at that point Yoda and Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Right.
So they wanted to, keep Luke and Leia hidden because they knew that Luke and Leia, because they were the children of, Anakin, that they were going to be powerful in the Force. And, I mean, they never really explore Leia's powers necessarily, but Leia, in some of the books and stuff, and like the fan-based stuff of the extended Star Wars universe or whatever, it's like she becomes a Jedi and is powerful and stuff like that. So, but I mean, you gotta think they are twins. So I mean, realistically, anything that Luke can do, I mean, Leia can do as well. So
Sorry, I was singing "Anything You Can Do, I Can Do Better" earlier when he mentioned that. My thing is, his personality would have been completely different. Because he was raised as a moisture farmer, right?
yeah, so he was kind of humble.
Yeah. And he, and if he was raised by Obi-Wan, obviously he would have been kept in hiding. So what would he have called Obi-Wan, Uncle?
Probably.
Because I know Obi-Wan probably wouldn't have been like, "You're my kid." No, he probably would have been, "No, you're Anakin Skywalker's child."
Yeah.
So, I don't know. And then you brought up another point that Vader may have sensed them.
Yep.
If he had been training them. Yeah, that's true, but the attachments to Tatooine would have been different for Obi-Wan. Because I know you said to split him up, but if he had been discovered by Vader, couldn't they have left and moved on somewhere else?
I mean, yes, but then at that point, Vader knows that they're there. Like when, so in episode 3, when all that happens, like as far as Anakin knows, Padme died without giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
Like as far as he knows, Padme's dead, no children were ever born, boom, done.
Mm-hmm.
Move on. Fast forward 17 years later, Luke suddenly, realizes he's got Jedi powers.
Mm-hmm.
Then Darth Vader's able to, sense him. And it's only at that point that Darth Vader, who is Anakin, realizes this is my own flesh and blood. Like, he's sensitive enough to the Force to realize that those are his children. Or at least Luke is his child.
Yeah. So how do you think Obi-Wan would have raised Luke? Probably the same way as he approached whenever he asked about his father. He probably would have said he was killed by Darth Vader.
Mm-hmm.
He probably would have raised Luke that way.
Yep. I agree.
But I think the attachment would probably be a little different. So if, everything happened kind of the same, like the droids were discovered somewhere on Tatooine, like if everything fell into place otherwise and they found them, and, they ended up flying off with Han Solo and everything, when it came down to the battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, I think it might have been a little different.
I think Luke would have ran over there probably.
Yeah.
And probably tried to strike down Vader.
Because that, in his mind, that's a father figure.
Right.
To him. So, I don't know. I think, would they have trained together? I don't know.
Maybe Obi-Wan would have just raised him, as just like a quote-unquote normal kid, so to speak.
Until they had to go rescue the princess.
Right.
That's a possibility. But then he wouldn't have had any attachments. Luke would have been, let's go,
True.
So, I don't know. He wouldn't have necessarily have had that speeder to sell so they could get on a ship with Han Solo and fly off.
Yep.
Because Obi-Wan was living as a hermit, which means Luke would be living as a hermit.
Yep. Yeah, because, Jedi don't really... They're not really supposed to own anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's part of the Jedi way of life.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Because, yeah, like, obviously Obi-Wan wouldn't have wanted to be discovered, but, like, there's nothing that would really be all that bad necessarily about Owen and Beru having a child. Like, that wouldn't necessarily be suspect to Vader, even though, and I'm sure Vader knows that they are there and alive because,
yeah, but like you said,
so,
he didn't think that she even had the kids, so why would they be important?
Right, like if anything, he would have just been like, oh, that's my
stepbrother and his wife.
No, Owen
and Beru. Or Vader, that was Anakin's stepbrother.
Yeah, that's right. So, he would have just thought that was, his stepbrother and wife's child.
Yeah.
So, there was no reason for him to think otherwise.
Yeah. But if, Obi-Wan had gone into hiding with Luke, he wouldn't have necessarily had to have gone to Tatooine. He could have gone somewhere else.
It's true. Which, it's kind of funny that they picked Tatooine to go back to, like, it's like, hey, go back to where Vader started,
Yeah.
Like.
But if you remember at the end of episode 3, though, with the him keeping it, like, not being able to sense him or whatever, Yoda gave him special training to talk with Qui-Gon. So how does that work without being him sensed? Unless that's like a different plane type thing.
Yeah, I don't really know. That's still like the Force. So I don't know. Like the Force sensing thing, it's weird how it works because sometimes it works across the galaxy and sometimes it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. It's weird. Because, like, when Han Solo died, like, Leia sensed it from across the galaxy, but like at the same time, like there were a lot of times in episodes 4, 5, and 6 where Vader didn't necessarily sense Luke until he was like, within, an orbit distance of a planet or where, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So like they were a lot closer basically. So I don't know. It's weird how that works. And like when Alderaan was blown up, like that was, sensed across the galaxy, so to speak, by like all the different force sensitive beings.
Right.
So
now another thing, going to the force side of it, let's say everything played out the same. So Obi-Wan gets killed by Vader.
Okay.
So is Luke going to be enraged, wanting revenge, or more to the side that he took before? If he was raised by Obi-Wan.
Well, I think he'd want revenge, but at the same time, it depends on how Obi-Wan raised him. If Obi-Wan just raised him as like...
As a Padawan, basically?
As if Obi-Wan raised him as a Jedi, then I think he would have known control and, maybe would have tried to fight him, but not necessarily with like a heart full of hate, so to speak. Like it would have been more calculated and methodical, so to speak, and not just like a blind rage. Whereas, like if Obi-Wan had raised him as just more of like a child and not a Jedi, I think maybe there would have been more of like
the dark side,
the rage side, like you killed my father figure, basically.
My father killed my father.
Yeah, my father just killed my father.
That's so weird.
So
okay, let's see, another good question to kind of chain off of that one. So once again, going to the two complete different sides of the coin, one being raised as just a child and the other being raised as a Jedi. When Luke goes to see Yoda, how would that have worked? Would Yoda have been more to say yes at first, instead of where he was like, this kid is too old to get the training, and he was just being stubborn? Which way would he have?
Yeah, that's true. I think he would have been more receptive to it if he would have already been trained a little.
Yeah, or at least been more force sensitive.
Yeah. I think that would have probably... Yoda would have been more eager to train him. I think he might have still resisted a little bit.
Yeah. But I think the biggest question, though, since Obi-Wan did not raise him and he only knew him for a short amount of time, the whole Darth Vader is my father thing comes out of the closet. How do you think Luke would react? You lied to me. Like, this whole time
My
I've been
whole
living
life,
with you,
yep.
You've lied to me. Thanks. Now I'm not going to listen to anything you tell me.
Yeah, my whole life was a lie, basically. Everything I knew was a lie, so how can I trust anything else?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
You probably wouldn't have trusted Yoda either.
I got a question. What if Luke had been given to Bail Organa,
if they had swapped it?
and
and
Leia had been raised
I've actually seen somebody did that
by Owen and Beru.
Somebody has actually done that. What if that would have happened? They also did, what if Anakin was actually raised as a Jedi instead of not, like from a little bitty kid?
Yeah, I think Anakin would have turned out different had he been raised you know, from infancy, so to speak, or toddlerhood, I guess, is when they really start them.
Mm-hmm.
So from like toddlerhood on up, if he had been raised as, you know, a Jedi, that would have been many more years. Because honestly, when Anakin came in front of the Jedi Council, they were saying then that he was even too old.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, most of them started when they were 4 or 5,
Mm-hmm.
and Anakin was like 8 or 9 when he started. So it was like, okay, well, he's kind of older, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's already like 4 years behind the curve of most Padawans.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. But going to what you asked with if they were swapped, I don't know. I honestly don't know how Vader would have actually responded to Luke as a diplomat. Like, I know he was pretty brutal with Leia. I think he would have been more brutal with Luke. Like for the interrogation.
So you think he was more gentle because Leia was a girl?
Yeah. I
But
think so.
I don't know. I mean, it is still Vader. Like, I don't think he necessarily cared one way or the other.
Well, I mean, her planet may have cared. It's a woman versus a guy.
Well, her planet was blown up, so it doesn't really matter.
Well, true.
And if it was Luke, then it would have been Luke's planet, and his planet would have been blown up.
That's true. I don't know. Like I said, Vader was pretty brutal either way. I don't know. I think maybe in the back of his mind, maybe he thought that was his daughter.
He had to have sensed it.
I mean, there's got to be a little something there. Because he picked up on Luke.
Yeah,
right?
But Luke was able to use the Force.
Yeah, with very little training. Very little. When they first met.
It's true. And that's because of who his dad was and how powerful his dad is.
So you'd think Leia would have been the same way.
Well, she is the same way. I mean, they're twins, right? So by that logic, I mean, they would be the same amount of powerfulness in the Force. So.
And be Mary Poppins.
I'm Mary Poppins, yo.
Anyway, let's see. What else would have happened with Luke if he would have been raised by Obi-Wan? I'm trying to think farther into the story. Because that would have been a big issue, I think, whenever it came out that Vader was actually his dad. That would have been like, what is going on? I've been lied to. Because he couldn't take it out on Owen and Beru for lying to him.
Right, well, because they were dead.
They were dead. So he couldn't confront them about it, so there's no use crying over spilled milk there.
Spilled blue milk at that.
But, I mean, with Obi-Wan, think about it, when Luke confronted him, he was like, yeah, it's true in a certain point of view, and Luke got upset, but he didn't get really upset. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. I don't know how he would have reacted. I guess it's back to the if he was raised as a Jedi or raised as a hermit type thing.
Yeah, if he was raised as a Jedi, I think he would have been somewhat calm.
I think he would have kind of sensed it already, too, when he met Vader.
Yeah.
He may have denied it, but he may have been like, huh.
Yep. So, I don't know.
It's a really strange scenario. Flipping it to Leia, though, I don't know. Her personality is a lot different than Luke's, but that may have been because she was raised as a princess.
Well,
too.
and that's the thing. So she, like, keeping personalities the same, just switching where they were raised.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luke would have been a lot more of a pushover when it came towards the rebellion and stuff.
Yeah.
And he might have actually just given up the rebels, you know what I mean? Because he was the more, initially, the more timid one.
Right.
Now, eventually, once he became a Jedi, you know, he kind of became BA. But that was only after he, you know, finished his training, you know, became full-blown Jedi and stuff.
I just thought about something. If they had swapped, Han may have automatically had a thing for Leia. And that may have been their bargaining chip to get on his ship.
Yeah, then they wouldn't have necessarily needed the money.
Mm-hmm. Obi-Wan would have been like, yeah, we can pay you when we get there. And he's like, yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So, I don't know. But, yeah, Leia, she's the more assertive of the two.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know. It's interesting to think about.
Not that it matters at all.
No. It's just the what if game is interesting, though.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you guys think out there? You know, like, let us know down below what you guys think about it.
I think it's an interesting topic, and you guys have at it in the comments. I'm curious to see what you guys are going to say and what you guys think, because I have a feeling you guys are going to have some really great ideas on where this potentially could have gone that we didn't even think about.
Yeah.
So.
Because we ain't smart. No, I mean, we ain't dumb either.
Well, did you have a topic for next time, or did you want to just think about it and come back to it?
I don't necessarily know a topic offhand. It'll probably be Star Wars related. I'd imagine.
Probably when we get some more Star Wars news that is really groundbreaking, I guess.
Oh, maybe the next topic, because it's coming soon. Well, we're still in July. I don't think it comes till August or September. But at some point, I'm sure there will be a topic of Attack on Titan. Because, like I mentioned in one of the videos earlier, season 3 is coming, and this time it's going to be a full 24 episodes.
Yes.
So
yes, they're not going to tease us anymore.
No, so get excited for that. None of these stupid 12 episode seasons. Well, it was just season 2 that was 12 episodes.
Yep.
So, because season 1 was 24 episodes, and then they did 12, and now they're going to do 24 again. So, I'm excited. Especially since they left season 2 on, like, the biggest freaking cliffhanger ever.
Oh, I know. Ugh.
And you're like, huh? What? Why? Why you do this to me? So, but anyways, I don't want to make this podcast about Attack on Titan, because that'll be maybe one of the next ones or something. Yep. So, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this. This one's a bit shorter than the previous one.
Yep, and we recorded it on the same day, so sorry we haven't seen any of your comments from the first one yet.
Yeah. So, hopefully you guys like this format and enjoy this. Like I said, it's something you can just put on and, like, listen to as you know, do whatever else. Dishes, clean house, workout, whatever.
Play a game.
Whatever it is that you guys like to do. So,
but let us know if you guys have any ideas for topics, and, you know, maybe if you guys are interested, maybe we'll actually do one of these as a live stream.
Yeah, that'd be fun. All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.